Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rollin' 20s. We are the show that has been CGC rated at -3 charisma. I am Jeremy.
Steve.
And Jesse.
We're trying something different. We are coming to you from the Go Comikaze floor for once. Remember, you can subscribe to our show at missionstarpodcast.com, on iTunes or on Stitcher. You can send us any fan mail, suggestions for the show, or hate mail at mspfreight@yahoo.com. We're using the music of Kirby Crackle. You heard that in the intro and the outro. You'd notice there's no clip, but that's because we are under unusual circumstances. The three of us happened to get out to Comikaze, and so far it has been a trip.
Yeah. I have to say what we just did, going through Dungeon Master, that was probably my favorite of the day.
Yeah, I guess that'll be it for me too.
It was definitely a unique ride, to be sure.
Yes.
We are out at the Los Angeles Convention Center looking up at a starlit sky and a bunch of cars driving back and forth. You can probably also hear some background noise as people walk by because we are testing out some mobile audio equipment. I gotta say, I arrived here on Friday and my expectations were mixed. I guess you have a convention that's still trying to expand. Last year was in the 45,000 range. And thus far, it has been unexpectedly interesting, at the very least. You know, I don't know how else to say it except that there is a little bit of everything here. If your interest is anime, sci-fi, comic books, even for sci-fi of the past, somebody has shown up. I mean, Lou Ferrigno's still here.
Yeah.
Saw Dean Cain too.
You saw Dean Cain?
Yes.
Yeah, Dean Cain was signing autographs. Bruce Campbell was here.
I think he is still here, but I believe he was one of the people that was held up due to the whole kerfuffle that happened out at LAX on Friday.
Yeah, that's probably...
It was just... There isn't much you can say about it. It's going to sound sad, but to say it directly, that kind of event was the perfect thing that probably delayed a few guests. J. Scott Campbell showed up in the middle of the second day.
Yeah.
We walked by his booth at about 2:30, which was 2 hours after he was supposedly going to arrive from the delay, and he still wasn't here.
Yeah, traffic.
Yeah, a combination between traffic and I'm sure his flight just being completely effed up. But hopefully he managed to finally make it. Well, I'm sure we'll check in with him tomorrow because I missed him at Comic-Con and I need to get a print from the guy. You know, I don't know what it is about comic book creators, but when they're actually here, I like to get their art, I like to get it signed, and I like to hang it up.
Makes sense.
You know, you guys heard me talk at length about Comic-Con, so I know it's all conjecture, but how do you guys think this stacks up so far?
I don't know. It's a little homier, I guess, maybe. A little more private.
Could definitely see that. I mean, it's not the zoo that it was by day 3 of Comic-Con for sure. And I know it's hard to compare a 3-day to a 4-day and something about a third of its size, but for relative space, I think they've done pretty well. It's still very able to move around in there.
Yeah. A couple of points where I had to try and catch up to you guys, but for the most part, it was pretty easy to move around.
And I think it's a trip that Jesse ran into somebody he knew at random.
Yeah, I ran into an old high school friend of mine. Apparently he's a Wizard of the Coast judge for a Magic the Gathering tournament they're holding over here.
Do you have to get certified for that?
Yes, you actually have to go through a course. I think it's very. He's got actually just have a great understanding of the rules and the little nuances and mechanics of them.
It doesn't hurt that he owns a shop.
No, he doesn't. He helped out another friend with the shop.
Okay.
It's probably like the only shop like it in Merced, right?
Probably now.
Yeah, they kind of trade places. We never have more than one.
Yeah, no, I think they're on Canal Street now.
Oh, they moved.
Yeah, they're not on Main Street. Not empty, but I've seen their name on Canal Street.
Huh. Well,
I can't be for sure. I haven't actually walked in yet.
well, I mean, we can draw some direct comparisons because you guys have both been here during an anime expo.
Yeah.
And you've seen a few years ago, before it became the utter zoo it was, how they use space in there in a pretty much the same space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would say Comikaze has managed to figure out how to use the floor space much better. They've left people room to walk around. There's a room off to the right where you can actually sit down without getting run over by other people. And there's 3 museums, I think, here.
Yeah.
The Elvira Museum, the Stanley Museum, and the Video Game Museum.
Oh, that was fun. That's a trip down memory lane.
It was like walking through some Indiana Jones display case of trophies from video games past.
Well, I know we have pictures, so...
Oh, absolutely. You know, I love the fact when I was taking a picture of the display case full of patches, you called them ancient achievements.
Yes, I did.
That was incredible.
Well, I mean, essentially that's what they are, though.
I know. I just wish we had Nathan Barnett when he would have gone insane in there, and it would have been epic. I don't like the word epic, but that's exactly what it would have been. You guys have seen some of the costumes walking around. What do you think?
A lot of them were very impressed, but I guess the ones I'm impressed with are actually the people who actually genuinely almost look like the character they're trying to portray. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of the ones where some of the kid costumes were just so too damn cute, like the Kid Colson. So.
Yeah, there have been quite a few kid costumes that I've noticed. I just saw somebody dressed as Blossom walking by. It was actually really cute.
I assume you mean the Powerpuff Girl and not like the TV show?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
No, Mayim Bialik, as far as I know, is not in the building.
And it's been some unique experiences for all of us, not because we've just seen the stars. I mean, you can do that at just about any convention where somebody's really hoping to get $15 for that signature.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we managed to slow down and actually talk to different members of the cast of Fangasm at random. We've managed to sit down for a photo with Weird Al Yankovic.
That's awesome.
Did you shake his hand?
That's not a phrase I ever expected to say in my lifetime.
But you got the Loom menacing label behind you.
Yes,
So.
I got the loom behind me.
You make it sound like you're about to rape Weird Al Yankovic.
I'm still a little miffed because I didn't get to hold the camera. Of course, Jeremy hands it off to the token Asian.
What? If you wanted it, you could have taken
Hear about Mexican at home?
Yeah.
I can't believe I've been racially profiled. Just because the black guy works with the Asian guy doesn't mean the white guy's dead. I mean,
No, instead I got stuck on babysitting dude.
you volunteered, man. I didn't ask you to watch the kid. You just somehow leaned down and said, "I'll keep him quiet." It's like, all right. If you want to show your motherly side, that's all up to you, man. I still can't believe what happened to me in the middle of that group, because we were getting together for the final group shot, and there was enough of us left over that they were having trouble finding space for everybody. So I took this young girl dressed as Rogue to the top of the stairs and picked her up and lifted her on my shoulder. As soon as the shot was done, she said, "Do you want to set me down?" I told her I can do whatever. And she said, "Well, wait, why don't I just set you down?" I thought I was making her nervous. So as soon as I took her rear end off my shoulder and put her down, she turns around and says, "I recognize you." "A what?" "You were there at Comic-Con, right? At the water?" "Yeah." "I think you picked me up there, too." And I was stunned, not because she recognized me, but because I had to ask her, "You recognized me after I picked you up? What kind of identifier is that?" And her friend steps up to me dressed up as Shadowcat, and she just says, "Oh, it's you." And, "What? You picked me up at Comic-Con. Is this all girls know me for now?"
I don't know, man.
Jerry picking up girls at comic convention. It's not a bad thing to have.
If I only knew it was this easy in high school, I would just start pressing girls over my head all day.
Well, by the way, we did get a close-up shot of that.
Oh, joy.
We can share it to the world.
My big belly in yellow. Wonderful. But the weird random photo opportunities happening all over this place are just hilarious. My daughter, I think, has been in pictures with 5 out of 7 of the Fangasm cast.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I showed you guys the picture of her with Danny. I mean, they are the same height.
Yeah. No, that girl is short. I didn't have any idea.
I know, but she is so cute, too. I'm tempted to just take out all my clothes and shove her in my suitcase and walk away with her.
I think they call that illegal.
If they're not willing. You know, if they happen to be unconscious, I don't know what that means.
Kidnapping with assault included?
Damn it! I can't win with you two.
We tried.
So there's still a few things to be done. Right now, we could be at the costume competition, but I volunteered to skip it because outside the front door, we found a notification today that Heroes of Cosplay is here.
Yep, joy.
They're taping for their new season. And I It's no secret. I enjoy cosplay. I like doing it. I'm not very good at it. I like watching it because people are amazing at it. I hate that show because of how much drama they inject into a hobby that is supposed to be fun.
Totally agree. I mean, I will admit, I still like some of the people that are on that show, but there are others I just absolutely despise.
Oh, the thing is, though, I've met 3/4 of the people in there. And the drama they've injected into the show artificially, most of those people don't act anything near that. They just picked every moment where they're whining and crying and put that in the show.
Yeah, so drama makes good television. Great.
It's what, unfortunately, the American audience wants. What I'm confused about, though, is after the Fangasm panel, somebody asked, is there going to be another season? And Regina, the head of this convention, the one that was throughout the season of Fangasm, she said that she didn't know. It depends on what Sci-Fi and NBC thinks of it all. And I actually yelled out from the front of the stage, Heroes of Cosplay gets a second season and you get a maybe?
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
Damn.
It pisses me off so much because most of the people that were from the Fangasm cast, running into them in this convention, it's the same people. There's nothing different about them from their TV personas to their real-life personas.
So it was a true reality show.
Yeah, I mean, I ran into Salvatore Fringo 4 times yesterday. 4 times. 3 times I said hi. Once I purposely tried to ignore him, not because I don't like the man, but I really thought he might think I'm his superhero stalker. You know, and I know his eyes and mine met, and we both just kind of went, no. But from that show, I ran into Sal, Kristen, Molly, Danny, and Andrew just walking around.
Nice.
You know, there's a couple photos with these people with me in them, and you know, people can black out my face as they please. I've looked in a mirror. But most of them are very genuine, and they still look surprised when people stop them to say hi.
You know, probably because they're not celebrities and they're just normal people. They're shocked.
I think half of them know what kind of people they are, though, because Regina told a story about her taking, I believe it was Molly, Sal, and Kristen to New York Comic Con. These people are quasi-celebrities, whether they like it or not now.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to this convention and one weird experiment. If there's a season 2, I've got to figure out where they're signing up.
We'll vote for you.
I would work hard, I would know what I'm doing, and frankly, I think I'd have a lot of fun.
No, you could always sign up one of your kids.
Oh my God, my daughter would do it. She would unabashedly do it. She was the one who gets excited every time we take pictures with these people. You know, oh my God, Dad, that's Andrew. Can I get a photo? Okay. I wasn't sure where she knew it from, but we've been working so hard preparing for next week's show where we interview them that she's been watching the show over my shoulder.
Nice.
I mean, even at registration when I was getting my press badge, I recognized her, and I recognized Danny, and I gave her my card and explained who I was, and she did remember who I am. And my little daughter standing there next to her, you're Danny from that show. And she says, yes! And they're the same height, which is just creeping the hell out of me. I'm going to have to buy canoes to put on the girl's feet if she gets any bigger. But how about the dealer's hall? What do you guys think about the interior of this place?
It's pretty well represented with all kinds of stuff. I saw steampunk, anime.
I saw a whole gamut of things. I've
A
been
whole bunch
to
of retro stuff I was nerding out on.
I mean, I've been to other anime conventions on my own time besides the acts, and I come across a lot of the same things. At least here, there's a lot of diversity, a lot of variety.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's all kinds of fandoms that are inside. The steampunk booths, the Doctor Who booths. There's at least 3 booths I think we found that are just catering to fangirls specifically.
Yeah.
So the women are not being ignored here. Obviously, it's a comic book convention. There's multiple comic booths. There's creators all over the place. Stan Lee has his name on it, but he's not just on the stage. He's doing at least one signature or signing here.
Yeah, how crazy was that to actually find out that he made a cologne?
I forgot about that. Yeah, Stan Lee's cologne. They're actually selling it here. Something Stan Lee helped create. And I got to admit, when I first saw that banner that said Stan Lee's cologne, I just wondered if it smelled like Ben Gay and wool pulp.
I did a double take when I first saw that. point Steven at the road.
It is scary to see that black box with those white frames that he always wears and the mustache underneath, and you just. It's almost like an invitation for a mustache ride. I don't know what's. I didn't want to go near it at first.
I was like, when did they make a new type of print? What? And I'm like, no, it's actual log. What?
Yeah, the Stan Lee Museum was both awesome and a little confusing because the actual stuff that Stan Lee seems to keep personally was towards the back.
Yeah.
And it's a very small percentage. Most of the museum is just representations of the characters he's created or had a hand in creating at some point.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what we should
were
take
some
a picture
amazing,
of?
What?
Is that picture of Joker that Bob Kane gave to him.
I'm afraid to use a flash on that, frankly, because that should be kept forever. Stan Lee has a signed sketch of the Joker signed by Bob Kane, made out to him personally.
Yeah.
That is beyond worth right now. I mean, that is an amazing piece to have in your library. God, I'm trying to think about what else we saw here. We saw a full-size Knight Rider replica.
Yep. As well as all the
Armors and whatnot.
armors. Yeah.
Yeah, Legendary has their booth here, and they're showing off some of their special effects from the movies they've done for Marvel.
Oh, what about those figures of all the different Iron Man armors from Iron Man?
I think that was the Yes Anime booth. They have the minifigures, and then they have, I think, quarter-scale stand-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was...
Yeah, you can start pre-ordering some of them soon. Several others are out for order. Several others are available.
I have a feeling it's one of those things where if you have to ask the price, you don't want to know.
Yeah, but the size of the case they're stuck in, I couldn't imagine spending all that money. I'm sure somebody out there probably owns a wall of Iron Man armors. That is not me.
Yeah.
I am not that guy.
You're a fan, but you're not that committed.
I'm a relative fan of the movies. The character of Iron Man himself I've gotten more into, I admit. But, yeah, to spend probably somewhere to the tune of $400 to $500 per statue for each of the armors in Iron Man 3. I have 3 kids. I'd have to sell one.
I had some buyer's remorse when I actually bought that third-party Devastator. I'm still enjoying the Devastator.
Yeah, imagine having that purchase every month.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think about what else we've been doing here. I know I was at a panel on my first day. Crap, I've been so busy, I actually forgot what I sat in on. It was interesting and it was informative, but I didn't...
I can't speak for first day registration, but on the second day, Steve and I came in the night of the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So we just went to sleep, came back in the morning.
Yeah.
We went through the registration and it was like, your paper is scanned, there's your ticket. Done. Like,
Yeah, you guys didn't even have a line. I mean, the convention was already open and it was a walk-up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was here first day. I lined up 2 hours before registration. I was only 15 people deep. When they finally opened the doors at 11:05, just for registration, they didn't open the main doors until 1 p.m. My total registration time was 6 minutes.
Wow. I remember doing the ads, a few summers ago. That was like 3 hours of my life I went back.
It's actually gotten worse since then. But here's the thing, is that they have the whole thing compartmentalized rather brilliantly because they don't have many scanners out there. They only have probably somewhere between a dozen and, 18?
Yeah, I'd say closer to a dozen than 18.
Okay. So all they do is they scan the page or look up your name, confirm who you are, and then they hand over the badge. There's no kerfuffle. There's no extra weight. There's no drama. They just literally get you in and send you on your way. There's no registration pack, which I'm a little sorry for, but there's at least 5 different places to pick up the information book if you really want it.
Yeah.
They even had a booth for it.
Yeah. And all you got to do after they give you his badge is walk over to the next place where they put your badge in a holder, hand you a lanyard, and you're done. For a convention that's arguably not big, it's a pretty slick operation.
Yeah. They have it down to a real science.
It actually took me longer to get my press badge. Which is a little sad, but they didn't quite open up that window yet. I don't think they expect us to show up at 8 in the morning.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's probably one of the reasons why I have a hard time remembering what you saw yesterday, being that you got up before.
I finally remembered. I saw the Saber Guild. They put on a lightsaber demonstration.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They were showing off fighting styles. They're an actual guild in Orange County looking to open up an LA branch. So they're looking for more volunteers in the area willing to start one. And they have sabers that are rated for dueling. They took about a dozen people up, anyone willing to sign a waiver, and over the course of a couple hours, they showed people the beginning moves of how to be a Jedi or a Sith Lord. And I remember somebody somebody asked me what I wanted to be. You know, do I want to be a Jedi or a Sith Lord? And I told her, I'm black. I have to be a Sith Lord. And she congratulated me, and someone from the back yelled, "The dark side has cookies." And I said, "Oh, I want to be a fat Sith Lord." And the portly lady on stage, she even had a sense of humor because she just patted her belly and said, "Beat you to it."
That's one thing I want to come with. Something we saw. It's right where we saw the Knight Rider. That was Lion Forge, I guess.
The which one?
Lion Forge.
Yeah, Lion Forge Comics.
Yeah, they had a bunch of screens out there just showing intros to cartoons of my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the properties they have the rights to make comics for, I think. I mean, we're talking Airwolf, the A-Team, Knight Rider, Denver the Last Dinosaur,
That last one can go die in a fire.
Star Saber and the Saber Riders. I have not said that name out loud in at least 6 years.
It's just.
I'm not fortunate you guys have not seen that show.
It's actually not bad. It's 70s anime. It literally is.
The earliest show I ever watched as a child might either be Silverhawks, Brave Swords, and Tyrians.
Well, there's still a day to go. I mean, what are you guys looking forward to the most?
Let's see, what are we doing tomorrow?
I mean, unfortunately, we have to pack up the hotel early to make sure that we're here.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish I brought my own camera so I could take pictures of all the costumes.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of stuff here, and I already have a butt ton of pictures. It's going to be hard picking. And that's probably one of the best things about a comic book convention above an anime convention, because while anime conventions have more cosplay, comic book conventions have more varied cosplay.
Yeah.
You know, there's more people that are willing to wear their Doctor Who or their Stormtrooper get-ups, and I don't know why, when anime conventions are so welcoming of cosplay. It's probably just people's fear of being ostracized.
Yeah, probably. I
Yeah.
mean, anime is kind of a niche, whereas comic books have kind of incorporated so much now.
Mm-hmm.
We've even seen anime cosplayers out here too.
Yeah. You know, we even saw that guy with the My Little Pony jacket. It looks like he's been skinning them. You know who you are.
Yeah. I've seen some really intricate costumes today, too.
Did you see anything? Did you guys see anything that just blew your doors off?
Somebody dressed up as Jubilee. She had an awesome costume. I thought it was. It's not her new stuff. It's like her original costume. She did a really good job.
The 90s one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one of my favorites was the guy that came in later during the whole picture thing. That was dressed up as a Black Panther. All kinds of,
Oh, yeah, he had his Wakandan armor on.
yeah, and
yeah.
a spear.
Yeah, the guy that came. Another guy that came in really late was a Colossus. I thought he did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, I had a first. Usually when I cosplay at anime conventions as Luke Cage, nobody pays any attention. There may be one guy who shakes my hand, but I don't think I ever get my photos taken. In the Marvel group, there were 3 Iron Fists.
Yeah, including a gender bender.
Yeah, and each one wanted a piece of my time.
Oh yeah, that Doctor Strange that was with one of the Iron Fists was a pretty good costume.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that in the least. You know, there's a photo that somebody took of me kind of sweeping the Lady Iron Fist off her feet.
I just saw a really good Power Girl,
Power Girl?
or whatever the DC chick is.
Yeah, it's Power Girl.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't make it to the DC gathering because we had somewhere to be.
Oh, I
She just
saw.
walked by.
Huh?
I saw a good, really good Penguin, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy.
You know, Harley.
2 Poison Ivies. You can't. One was fairly dressed.
It's kind of funny that Harley Quinn seems to have turned into the de facto kind of sexy cosplay of the DC lineup.
Yeah.
Out of all the characters with limited coverage, one of the ones with the most is the one you see the most,
Leaves a lot to the
I guess,
imagination.
adult variations on.
It leaves a lot to the imagination, while some of the other ones don't.
It's certainly true. But I've seen all kinds of Harley Quinns from like the original all the way up to Arkham City, frankly.
Well, I think that's one of the things is her costume has changed, not really dramatically, but just the different variations and whatnot. You can, and just due to the character's nature, you can just kind of come up and have fun with it. Kind of like Deadpool. How many different Deadpools have you seen at this place?
5.
Whereas like Poison Ivy and some of these other people, it's like, well, there's not too many variations you can make on that.
That's true. I hadn't put a lot of thought into that. Was there any costumes you would wish you had seen while you were here? There's always a few per convention I wish would show up, but I don't see them.
Oh.
Because like me, personally, it's no secret I'm an X-Men fan. I've seen a couple X-23s. I've seen the character before, but very rarely at any con do I see Pixie.
Yeah. So I think I saw one at the last anime convention, which should be Fanime. But other than that, yeah, that's the only time I've seen.
Honestly, I was gonna say Pixie would actually make for a great costume for a kid, which actually reminded me of the Kid 1 and Kid Quicksilver.
Well, the adults do pretty well. There goes Harley again. See, this is what we get for recording on the floor. It's squirrel, but
So does that make that number 12 we've seen today?
I don't know.
Or in the 20s somewhere?
I kind of lost count somewhere around drool. Oh well.
Yeah.
But
oh well, that brings actually to mind one of the things that I did see that I hadn't been expecting. That was the Soundwave and
Starscream.
Starscream.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, the Transformers Prime versions.
Yeah, that
actually, I'm
really
not.
intricate costumes.
I did feel kind of sorry for the one we saw, the Dark of the Moon Soundwave we ran across, who wasn't recognized. He was actually happy that we did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize it from the back. I was like, what the hell is that? And he turns around, I was like, oh, I get it.
I saw it,
Yeah,
and
I
I
called him out. He's like, "Oh, it's Soundwave," and he turns around. I was like, "Oh man, thanks."
and that's all cosplayers need half the time is a little bit of validation.
Yeah, and he did have a pretty good costume. It was,
Yeah, it was paper mache armor. It was probably cardboard painted and everything.
yeah, but he even had the glowing bits.
Yeah, no denying it was rough around the edges, but the guy obviously put in a lot of work and a lot of love.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, that was not a easy to move around in suit.
No, he was waddling. The poor guy was really trying to get some attention.
Well, what about that Power Ranger group we saw?
Oh,
That
yeah,
was really
Power
impressive,
Ranger.
but it was too bad that they had a problem.
Well, we ran into them a little bit later when we were heading over towards Weird Al, and they had fixed Golar's mask.
Finally?
Yeah,
Well-
it looked good. I walked by him.
Well, it's not.
I thought it wasn't the mask. I thought it was something with the boot or the thigh that was busted. That's what stopped him before.
Yeah, that's not to have what I didn't notice the difference is they took off the thigh armor so you get a better range of motion.
Okay.
Maybe so. I thought it was his mask that was busted, and he was wearing that again.
Well, I think he took off the mask
Still
because he
looks
wasn't
good.
feeling well.
I thought your brain was going to break when you noticed that the Yellow Ranger was no longer an Asian woman but a black male.
I thought that was hilarious.
I saw
Just
that.
due to the fact that in season 1, they're using the footage and it was originally in Japan, a guy anyway, so anytime Trini transformed, all of a sudden she's packing something in there, and I'm going, okay. But yeah.
No, but that's the other thing about comic book conventions compared to anime conventions is they tend to get an older crowd, so the interior of the place is more relaxed. It's not as frantic. It's not as many squealing fangirls. I'm not going to say it's a more adult environment. It's just a more laid-back one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about getting run over by somebody else. The next big deal was offering.
We're not sure what just happened. Somebody is either hardcore fanboying or he's having the first male childbirth in history. See, this is the kind of stuff we don't get when we're sitting around Skype just barking at each other.
Oh
Apparently
yeah.
one of his friends just got a headshot on Bane.
Okay.
Yeah, I do actually enjoy this stuff a lot more than Skype, but that way I actually see you guys.
Yeah,
you actually look at me and see that I'm not just being quiet all the time.
Yeah, we'll work on further refining this. But it has been an interesting weekend,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not one where we sat around just staring at things in the convention wearing at our feet. We've been playing a little Castle Crashers, been playing some Dungeons and Dragons of the video game variety. We've seen Dungeon Master Roll do their thing, and they were funny.
They were extremely.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's I guess you could say it's a sword and sorcery RPG improv group.
Yeah, improv, live action improv. With volunteers from the audience.
Yeah.
Unexpected, especially the Fraggle as one of the party members.
You mean the tree wizard?
Yes, the tree wizard.
He was definitely a puppet. He was a Sesame Street puppet.
It was quite awesome.
And unfortunately, he was probably one of the funniest ones. You know, it is one of those things where I had to tamp down the exhibitionist in me because I felt like yelling a few things. I had to shut my mouth. It is amazing to just kind of sit in this building and actually look at things go by as it happens.
Yeah, people watching here is definitely paying off.
Yeah, I can't believe we saw somebody dressed up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rocksteady.
Oh, yeah.
I missed that. I still didn't see that.
I got it at a glance.
Yeah, so did I. I caught him at the top of an escalator. There's still a day left. There's still a lot to go on. Unfortunately, you know, Anime Expo tries a lot to be San Diego. I'd be happier if they tried to be this convention.
Yeah.
It's smaller. It's more of their size. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here in space allocation. You know, the professionalism of your staff. There's also a lot to be learned about how to just plain prepare, which is something that Axe has really had trouble with in the exact same building. And this is a sizable convention. Last year was 45,000 people. They apparently have gone 20,000 above that this year. They're having quick growth,
Yeah.
and they've managed to stay with the Anime Expo as it grows. At worst, if they keep going with this rate of growth, they'll surpass Axe by the next year. Anime Expo claims to have had 61,000 people this year.
Do you believe it?
Yeah.
You know I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I was in the building. It was crowded, but it wasn't crowded enough to claim that 10%, no, probably closer to 20% more people showed up last year. It just doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I still, just knowing what's been going on and everything else, I find it highly unlikely that
Another headshot.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think Axe has grown, and I think it's better that they're no longer claiming they've had 105,000 visitors.
yeah, that was a little excessive.
Yeah, that was too much BS to be smelled on that.
But
I think that was a long Beach too, wasn't it?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't that at Long Beach that they were saying that?
No, that was 2 years ago here.
Oh, okay, so that was
You know, all at the LA Convention Center.
105 people, 1,000 people in here,
But I like the fact that I am enjoying myself, and even though this isn't San Diego, I've still seen a lot of things I haven't seen before.
yeah.
You know, there is plenty to do around here, and it's not like San Diego where you have to run to all corners of the building to get everything done. They've managed to set up their convention all within the South Hall, either the meeting rooms above the dealer's hall or in the dealer's hall itself.
Yeah.
And it's all very condensed and easy to get around. And in the end, I think they've made a good product here.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly entertained.
I worry about you two sometimes when we're walking around because you're both so quiet.
Well,
We are screaming in our minds.
It's streaming your minds?
Screaming.
Oh, okay.
It's nerding out in our heads. At least I am.
yeah, I definitely have my little nerd out moments, but yeah, I just don't tell the world about it, I guess.
Maybe I've been hanging around anime fans and screaming fandom too much. I'm used to exuberant displays and things. You know what? Maybe we should just get all the Lokis together. We'll get screams.
I had a couple of good ones of those.
A couple, yeah. There was one guy who almost was a dead ringer of Tom Hiddleston in his suit, complete with the staff.
Yeah, he did a
I got a single shot of him.
the gender bender Loki with the Enchantress was also really
Mhm.
well done.
I almost wish I stopped him. I found him in the dealer's hall, but it's the same problem you usually encounter in most dealer's halls, is that you don't get great pictures that way. You get some really good candids, but it's hard to set up a really good photo inside these things.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of space there, but there's not enough space to do.
I think in difference, they've set the aisles wide enough in general. You could actually stop in an intersection and take a picture, but it is the usual problem of this wild multicolored background and things walking around behind you, and it can get a little hard to pick out the details of what you're up to. Let alone...
And, somebody walking in front of you.
Exactly. We are not that much of dicks to actually make people stop so we can have a great picture. But don't worry, we've actually taken pictures in the dealer's hall, so there will be a few things you've seen in there. We just didn't ruin anyone's day to get it.
No.
My goodness. And to think, next week we got to take at least 3, probably 4 people from this convention and talk to them.
It's a little intimidating.
A bit. If we're lucky, Andrew, Sal, Danny, and Kristen will all be talking to us tomorrow. Danny is the only one that's questionable. I spoke to the other 3, and all of them are not just agreeing, they're all making sure what time zone they're in and what time zone we're in. But I did find out one thing by accident when I met Sal. It wasn't very clear to me what he did before the internship. There were all these indications that he was doing something at summer camps, but it wasn't very clear. Turns out he is a summer camp counselor during the summer, but most of their time of the year, he works at a GameStop.
So he forces people to buy used games.
Doesn't force, and they're all $21. No, he's actually just as pleasant as you would expect him to be. But I did stop by the Fangasm panel last night.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It was interesting. The moderator asked a lot of kind of cookie-cutter questions, but it's about what you'd expect from somebody trying to get a little information for the throng of people standing out there.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting ones was that she decided to ask each member of the panel which member of the cast you would pick to help you survive a zombie apocalypse. Kristen picked her best friend Molly because she thought Molly would rage all over the zombies. And Mike interrupted her and said that she would stop them all by claiming that she knew every zombie out there and they just wouldn't eat her. I'm trying to think of several other questions. Most of what you gather from the panel is that everyone thought Paul was going to be a hipster, and he wasn't. Everyone thought that Andrew was going to be socially awkward, and he is. And everyone thought Danny was adorable, and she still was. I mean, if you believe the panel, I mean, all of them are exactly what you saw on the TV show. They're all just as vivacious, and they're just as nerdy as they came. The only one that kind of confused me was Mike, because several times in the show he was wearing those glasses with the center of them taped up. He was wearing those on stage, and I noticed there's no lenses in them. I don't know if that's a safety blanket or what that is.
I don't know. Although if they were filming it, then they might have been worried about glare.
That you might be right on. I'm pretty sure I saw a videographer crew. I mean, I know they projected on the stage behind them, but they're probably taking a record. You got to be able to show it to some people. I have heard a couple people complain a little bit about the Hot Topic signs everywhere.
Well, they are a sponsor, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think a lot of people miss, is that they're so absorbed in the fan experience, they don't realize that if you want a convention to grow, sooner or later, you're going to need people with money to back you.
And why not Hot Topic? They cut all this kind of stuff anyway.
That's, as I said, that's that kind of weird mentality where people are so fan-forward, they don't think about the corporate practice of putting one of these on. And you do have to glad hand several people to get things bigger and better. I mean, nobody complains about San Diego as big as they are and how many stickers they put on all their signs of all the people that put up money. If they want this to be as big as that, they're going to have to do the same thing. Having Stan Lee's name on it, big draw, but he can't do it all by himself. He can't bankroll it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure how much of his bankroll he's putting in on this.
I saw Artemis walk by.
Yeah. Good one.
From Young Justice.
Oh, cool.
Again, just those little...
walking around with Megan.
Yeah. Again, just those little things you would never get sitting at our desks.
True.
But, I'm trying to think of what news came up. There wasn't a whole lot of heavy news other than the fact that the PS4 is no longer supporting MP3s and CDs for the system.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me too much.
It doesn't affect me heavily, but I know a lot of people are going to be upset. The problem is that the system was set up too well with file sharing, and they were worried that their system was going to turn into an easy form of piracy.
Yeah, that is a legal concern.
I can understand their justification with that. I do, but still.
It is one of those things that turns into a feather in Microsoft's cap, because that means that their system is going to be much more the media center they want it to be.
Yeah, but of course Microsoft always has all their anti-piracy things included, so how much you'll actually be able to accomplish with it, don't know.
I don't know. I mean, all I know is if I pick up one, I'm sure every once in a while I'm going to throw a towel over the Connect Center. Hey, nobody needs to see everything I do in my bedroom. Not even me. But it has been an interesting ride so far, and there's still a day to go.
Yep.
That is the part it's hard to get through my head. There's still one more day of this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, and it feels like we've already done so much. You say you want to get some sleep. I have a feeling there's at least an hour of Castle Crashers in our future before we do that.
True enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure V's going to listen to this next week, and she's just going to start wondering, why don't I live in California? Why don't I do these stupid things with these idiots?
Because you're too cool and you live in Texas.
Well, who knows? I mean, if we get our applications approved, she promised to come out here if we can get into the event.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Fun.
But that all is dependent on whether we get approved.
I really am.
It's easy to get starstruck when you can say, I have enough credentials to get a press badge to San Diego. It's just a matter of these idiots saying yes.
Yep.
But hopefully they'll say yes.
Probably shouldn't call them idiots.
Okay, I'll retract that one. Only if those nice people say yes. And we will send cookies and tea with it. No, but hopefully we'll have enough. Actually, we do have another one of these in our future because the three of us are going to be at Anime Los Angeles in a couple months.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we go to a comic convention, now we go to an anime convention. So we may have screaming fangirls.
So.
Yeah, we may have screaming fangirls in the background because that convention is open very late. They have dances that go till 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Didn't they have to close the Axe one?
Did they have what?
No, that's right. They had to make it 21 or older.
No, that was Anime Expo that had to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, Anime Los Angeles, they haven't had that issue as of yet. But the problem out there is that Anime Expo had to do it because of the liability issues regarding minors in the LA Convention Center. It's the LA Convention Center, they kind of wigged a little bit. And obviously Axe didn't check all their information before they did what they did. Anime Los Angeles doesn't quite have the same issues because it's all contained in one hotel.
Well, see, that's a big difference if it's in a hotel compared to the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to be different on the two of you because you're used to conventions being large, grandiose things with large buildings, multiple hotels. You're going to go to a convention that's all contained in one building.
That is going to be new.
Yeah.
Everyone sleeps, buys, and parties in one building. And the pool section is off limits to anybody not wearing an ALA badge.
Really?
Yep. That's where most of the cosplay gatherings happen.
Sounds fun.
It's going to be a trip.
Yep.
I think I'll leave Luke Cage home for that one unless somebody emails me something specific.
I still want to make those power things. I still have the fucking money to do it.
It's just a matter of getting the stuff together to do it. It's probably easier than you think once you get started.
Well, yeah, I bet it's a matter of getting the materials, and I just don't have the funds. I better have the funds to come here.
I'll give you that. But let's see, we've already been here for almost an hour.
Oh, wow.
And obviously we can't give out a full report because A, the convention hasn't finished yet, and B, we still have to get together for a con-over with Anthony so we can ask all the proper questions.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
So I think we're going to cut it here. Next time we talk to you, we should be sitting down with members of the Fangasm cast and V and have a full sit-down. We also get back into the regular news of the week, our Kickstarter corners. Actually, before we go away, we should mention that the City of Titans Kickstarter, it's ending in about a day now.
Yeah, it pretty much rolls over as soon as it clicks over to...
Monday morning, yes.
Yes.
The minute it clicks over to Monday.
Yes. Here's the thing. I sent an email to their press staff and asked if we could have a follow-up in a few weeks with Chris Hare or anybody that was available because obviously the Kickstarter will be over. They've already made their funds, and we can check in with where development is and what ideas are going to implement. And their press lady said she asked Warcabbit if he'd be interested in going back on the show. He responded by singing the first couple courses of the Muppets theme song. She assumes that means yes.
I'd be more impressed if he was singing the Fraggle Rock song, but it'll do.
Be more impressed if he was like an exploding oboe or like the end of this song, but But he does want to come back on, and I'm looking forward to talking to him again. It looks like we're going to talk to him about mid-December.
December.
Yeah. So hopefully by then they said they wanted to take the week after the Kickstarter off, rest and recuperate, and then they're going to get into the meat of actually making the game. Because obviously now they have the money to buy the tools they want. They also have enough proof to show that they should get the loan they need to make the product, make it on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Because their Kickstarter would cover the cost of tools and probably some base labor and storage. But with the money they bring in from it, they can probably show a bank that there's enough of a fan base to get started with a full-blown production.
Seeing as that we're on that subject, the last time we checked, the Kickstarter was at 590,000.
Yes. If they get to 600,000, we get more powers.
More powers and a few other extra goodies.
I'm just stoked that they made it to 500,000 because I really wanted those wings.
That was at 550, but yeah, we still get them.
Yeah.
But at the very least, next time we talk to him about what he is as a fan and what he expects to do. Now we get to talk to him about what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get very close in depth with that. But after the Fangasm interview next week, we have an interview with at least one cosplayer. Because it occurs to me that I cosplay lightly. V does it as a very light hobby based on Star Trek interests. You guys don't do it at all. And I think it's about time we talk to a cosplayer to deal with some of the issues that we keep talking about at conventions. You know, cosplay consent, people and their needs for personal space, and let alone she is a very voracious cosplayer, the one that we have lined up so far. And she's a girl, so obviously she's at the back end of a lot of these issues that really come up. And I think it's about time we address them fully. All right. After that, we're going to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., since that should be about 7 episodes that have been put out. We'll have more than enough to frame an opinion on. Mm-hmm. And after that, we have a couple freeform weeks, and then we start talking to Chris Hare again. So we actually have a lot more lined up than I thought. I'm also waiting on a couple of emails because there were... I met somebody who's an ordained Jedi minister.
Someone?
What?
I don't know if that's all at the same time, but they're apparently from the Church of Life. They are ordained ministers. They were possibly Jedis or ordained Jedi ministers. I'm still trying to figure out the details because it was a short conversation during the Saber Guild demonstration.
Okay.
And and I gave a card to Molly McIsaac from Fangasm. She's interested in talking to us at some point too. And she's very opinionated as far as cosplay issues, probably in difference to a lot of our opinions, but hey, the show can't exist if there aren't different opinions.
True.
So we should probably talk to somebody who doesn't share them, also it doesn't seem like we're pandering to just what we think. We're not Rush Limbaugh. We should actually have people whose opinions cross our own. But I look forward to it all.
Yep.
You know, I can't believe that this many people are willing to talk to us. It's not like we draw a dime from the show and we don't have anything to pay them, but they're still coming on to talk to us.
I can't believe we're getting this opportunity at all, period. I'm still stoked.
It's amazing. Every time I'm about to think this is a fun hobby, it keeps showing up as a reminder as to why we have a show. It's really weird. But I look forward to it every day. So we are going to sign off from Comikaze's floor. We're going to go back to the hotel, chill out, play some bad video games, get ready to wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. Thank you very much for tuning in. I invite you to roll with us again next week. I am Jeremy.
Steve?
And Jesse.
Thank you very much.